Hello everyone, I'm here now going to show you how to create a query from a table. But firstly I will explain to you in few seconds what does a query do and what is the purpose of creating a query. A query in a database, it's when you want to retrieve certain information from the main table. It means that if we have a table but we only want to see certain records, or we want to search certain information from the whole table to display on the screen, then we can actually use a query. So a query can be created, but you need a table to query from. So each and every database that you want to create a query from means that in that database there should be a table. So here on the screen you can see that I've opened the database students as indicated up there, and now I have a table as indicated on the left, table 1. So from this table 1, now I want to search, or I want to create a query that will display certain information that I want from this table. So what I do, I don't open the table, I don't open it, so it must remain closed. As you see here on the center screen, it's a gray screen to show you that nothing is open, but the table it's showing that it's available. There on the left there is table 1, but the table 1 is closed, hence there is nothing open on the center screen. Then up there is a button create. That is where I'm going to go to because I want to create a query. So when I go and click that button create, the tools, this set of tools will change. Then that is when I will be able to see query design, because I want to design a query. So I'm going to click that create and go to query design, and when I click query design you will see what will happen on the center screen, which is currently gray. So now I'm going to click create. So I've clicked create, and you can see the tool that says query design. The reason why I'm stressing the tool query design is because I don't want you to mistaken it with query wizard. These two are different. So what we are using is a query design because we have to design it in a way that we want to display the information from the table. So you find that maybe there is a specific instruction given to you to create a query to display only the information of, then they give you the information how it should display. So you have to design the query so that it can give you that type of information that is actually instructed to you. So I'm going to click query design. When I click query design, you can see that it shows you different set of tools, and there's a small screen there at the center that says show table. So we are designing our query from table 1. So table 1 should be selected. So our table 1 should be selected. Then I just make sure that my table 1 is highlighted. I just make sure that my table 1 is highlighted there, because that is where my query should come from. Then I go and click add, the button at the bottom there that says add. I'm going to click it now. After clicking the button add, then the table 1 is added to my query design, but it's showing only the column headings that are coming from the actual table 1. Those column headings there that you see, they are coming from table 1. So I'm going to use that table 1 display on my center screen to design my query. So this show table screen, it was just for me to use it so that I can add that table 1 display. I'm going to close the dialog box that I used to add that table 1. So since I clicked that button close, then now you can see that at the bottom here there is a grid where you can see field on the left. Field means column. So now I need to design my query. If you are instructed to display a query to show, then they tell you what you must show. It's like you are searching from the main table. So if I'm going to search, I will use an example now. If the query was saying create a query or search for all the students who are owing fees which are less than 3,000 fees, all the students information, but I must show the fees less than 3,000. So this fee field here on the left, it is where I add my column headings. On the same row going to the right, I have to choose all the column headings for the query which are coming from the table that is up there. So what I do, I double click all the column headings that are going to be included. All the column headings that are going to be included in the query, I double click them one by one so that they can be added to the grid at the bottom. I'm going to double click them now. So I double clicked student name and you see that student name is added to the bottom of my grid. Now I'm going to double click student surname. I just double click student surname, it's added to the bottom of the screen. Then I'm going to double click student number. Student number is now added at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to double click student fees. Student fees is also added at the bottom of the screen. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell this query that you only show the fees which are less than 3,000. So if you see there, if you look at the bottom again on the grid, there is a option criteria on the left. That is our next move. Criteria on the left. On the same row of criteria, that is your criteria row in which you can use to search the information from the table. So this criteria row, it is the one that will help me to specify what information am I looking for. So I'm looking for the information that is going to give me fees that are lower than 3,000, below 3,000. So if I'm looking for fees that are below 3,000, then I'm going to go to criteria row as you see it there, but I have to be aligned with the fees column because that is where the fees are coming from. So it's going to be criteria but under student fees, just as indicated now. Then I put there the cursor must blink. I'm going to put the cursor now. When the cursor is blinking, then I will have to specify that I need anything under 3,000. So it will be less than. We use a mathematical operator which is less than. I'm going to type less than 3,000. Less than sign 3,000. So I'm going to press enter on the keyboard just to ensure that I don't get any error message. So that less than 3000 is telling my query that the information that will come, it should be a table that consists of student name, student surname, student number, and student fees. But the records, I only want to see the students who are owing only less than 3000 as instructed. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this query so that I can see the table that will show me students who are owing less than 3000. So if you look at the tools there up there on the left, there is run with an exclamation. It's written run. There are many exclamation marks there, but now I have to run it. So I'm going to use that one which is indicated now, that says run with a red exclamation as indicated now. You see there. Then I'm going to click it now and see what happens. So I just clicked that run button. That's why you don't see it anymore, but now you see a table. You see John, you see Sarah, but you don't see the third person. We had 3 people in the database, and now we only see that John is owing 2005, Sarah is owing 2 student fees is 2520. Why? Because we said less than 3000 in the query. So this is now not a table, it's a query one. As you see, as indicated there above student name, it's written query one. We still have our table one on the left as indicated, you can see now. So that query one there is going to be saved. Now it will be our second object on our list on the left. I'm going to click save up there. Then you will see the screen that asks me the name of the query that I want to save. Let me click that button now. You will see the small screen. So now you see the small screen is asking me what query name do you want to give this query. So I will just leave it as query 1 and click OK. So after clicking OK, you can see on the left there is queries, query 1 created for me on the left pane. On my screen on the left pane, there is a query 1, which is the same query 1 that is open on the center screen. I can close here. On the right hand side as indicated, you can see there is a close button for this table, which is my query. There on the right hand side, I can click there now. I'm going to click now to close the current open query, but my query is still added to my object on the left pane, so there's nothing wrong. I'm going to close now. So as you can see now on my left hand side, I have table 1, which is the original source of information, and I have query 1, which is the extracted information from the database table. So now this is how you create a query. A query has to be designed according to the instructions of searching or using a criteria that you want to display only certain information from the main table. So that is how a query is designed. The reason why you create a query is because at the end you have to create a report to show that this is a report of students who are owing less than this money, students who are owing more than this money, according to what we are doing now. So some other queries or tables, you find that you have to create a query for them to search for a certain student with a certain ID number, or a certain student with a certain student number. So the queries are different in terms of what you are looking for. So right now I'm going to close this database because this is the end of the session. I wanted to show you a query. Our next tutorial is when now we are going to use this query and put it on a report, and we are going to focus on what can you do on a report according to the instructions and how to edit a report, because now you want to report the results that you got as your query. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel. As you see at the end of the video is indicated that subscribe. Please click the button subscribe on the channel on YouTube so that you can get updates on new tutorials that I will be posting now and then. Thank you.